saved, and where would that money go? Hey, what do you hear? What do you say? My Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Google+, your sister's ass, the Pony Express. A very ticked off Vic here. You know what ticks me off? The fact that the government is so bad at business. Now follow me. So I was listening to the news the other day, and the whole thing about how New York and New Jersey set a record for no snow so far this year, and we're into February, and I started thinking about the idea that maybe, just maybe, we might go through an entire winter without any snow. I mean, it's really a possibility now. And so that made me to start thinking about something. When we have snowstorms every year, there's a whole effort that leaps into action a day or so before the storm. The salt trucks get filled up, and then they put salt down on all the roads in the state. Then the snow comes, and now thousands of people driving thousands of vehicles spring into action and start to plow the snow, and then after the storm. And then the more salt is needed, that goes and put down again. It's a whole big production. So, imagine this. All those plows and trucks, all the gas they use over and over during the 24 to 48 hours of a storm, from salting to plowing, all the salt and the shit they put down on thousands of miles of roads before it snows. And then after it's plowed, they put it down again. All that manpower, all that overtime, 24 hours a day until the snow event is over. So, you want me to get to my point? I'll give you your answer now, Senator. Here it is. None of that money for salt and manpower and plows and trucks will be spent this year if it doesn't snow. Did you hear what I just said? If it doesn't snow, then I gotta believe tens of millions of dollars or more will not be spent this year. So, then what happens to all that money? Do we see a tax rebate in the coming year, or do they take all that money and put it into pothole and road repair immediately, because the new year will bring the new taxes that pay for all the costs I mentioned above? That will happen next year. But that still doesn't change the point that all the tax money for that went to snow removal for this year won't get used. No money will be used. None. Zero. Zilch. Nada. Not one fucking penny. So, where does that money go? Do they save it? Do they spend it on what? And again, why don't taxes go down this year, or we get an extra services like road repair immediately without more taxes, because none of that snow clearing money was used? Don't you wish some Momo in government would address this and explain where that fucking money goes when it doesn't get spent? It seems like a really fair question to ask, because if they're just going to spend it on something else that we already were taxed for, then doesn't that mean they're just spending the money just because it's there? Our taxes already account for all our needs because there's an annual budget for everything in each state. So, if we don't get any snow this year, I'm calling out all local and state politicians to explain to us how much money was saved and where would that money go? You know, I get it that taxes sometimes have to go up, but why can't they ever go down too? This is a perfect example of a huge amount of money that might not get spent. This is the bullshit I think about. Oh, and by the way, I'm still waiting for the fucking Verrazano Bridge to not cost anything because it was finally paid off, like they said it would be 40 years ago. The fact that the government is so bad at business